Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome back to M4M Podcast, which stands for Medicine for the Mind, where our purpose is to prescribe a healthy psychological dosage of medicine to help heal and maintain healthy minds. Guys, we made it to 2021, and that is a blessing in itself. Everyone knows that 2020 has been a year to remember. So much stuff happened. The pandemic definitely shifted our lives instantly, and we had to adjust to a new way of living. And some of us are still adjusting to it. Some of us have become adjusted to it, but it is a change, and we had no choice but to just go with the flow, as my mom would say. But guys, I've been away for so long, been on a hiatus, mainly because the ending of 2020, I was finishing up my last semester of undergrad at Old Dominion University. And guys, that was, so stressful. It was so much stuff going on. I had exams. I took 5 classes my last semester. And it was a lot. I'm not even going to sit up here and lie. It was a lot because I was still working full time. And yeah, 5 classes, ending the semester, just trying to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. It's a big toll on you. It's a big toll. So anyways, I'm glad to say I was able to graduate from Old Dominion. Didn't graduate the way I wanted to due to the pandemic, but I still was able to graduate, and I graduated with a 3.7 GPA. My major was in psychology. I had 2 minors in special education and in human services. So I am very proud of myself for accomplishing that. And yes, I did step back from my podcast to focus on school at the time. But right now, I am so happy. I am done with undergrad. This has been a long journey. And one day, I guess I can do a story time and let you all know about my journey with school. But guys, I made it. And if I can make it, anybody can make it. And I'm saying that because I literally had to push myself and continually push myself, pray and work hard is how I was able to make it to graduation day. I am going to be applying to go to grad school, but I can't start that until the fall semester of this year. So I do get me a nice little break before I have to go back to school. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to enjoy this time. I will be posting more. So just stay tuned to that. But guys, today our episode is entitled Change. It's all about change, and I didn't realize how well it fit into what we are experiencing right now. We are in the process of a change taking place in the White House with our new president. We have consistently been in this change with the pandemic and how we are going about doing things. We have to wear masks. We have to constantly wash our hands. And I know it's like, what were you doing before? But, it's just something you have to be more conscious about. Just staying clean. So it's all a change. And we have limitations of how many people that can go inside stores. Even down to people who are pregnant and having going into labor. Only the mother and the father can be in the room when you give birth. So it's a lot that is changing now. And I just what came to me the other day was how, I guess, growing up, or it's just a cliche or whatever you can say. I've always heard people say, you can't change overnight. Change just doesn't happen overnight. Change is a process. And although I agree, I disagree to a certain extent, and I'm going to get to that. I'm going to show you where my mindset is at on this point. But yeah, you hear so many people saying that, change it just don't happen overnight. And in relationships, you always hear some females talking, and they're telling their girlfriends, yeah, he needs to change, but only the right woman he's going to change for, and this, that, and the other. And then if they are in a relationship with somebody that supposedly already changed, but they're still making mistakes within that relationship, they will end up telling you, oh, he ain't changed. He's still the same, this, that, and the other. But just change in general is where I beg to differ. When people say that change just doesn't happen, and change just doesn't happen overnight, I disagree, because it does happen overnight. Change happens faster than overnight. Change happens at a split second. The moment that you make up in your mind that you will stop doing something, or that you will start doing something, and then you act upon that thought that you had, that is the instance of change. That's the moment that change takes place. Now, what takes time is the process, or the consistency of change is what takes time. So the consistency of change happens over time. So you have to be consistent with your change. But the change itself is a split second. And honestly, if you look into just looking up, doing a basic Google search of the word change, I just want to read the first three definitions that comes up for a Google search. And the first one is change is to make someone or something different, to alter or modify. So another one is to replace something with something else, especially something of the same kind that is newer or better, or it's to substitute one thing for another. And lastly, the noun form of the word change is the act or instance of making or becoming different. That's the one I want to stick to. It is the act or instance of making or becoming different. So no matter what it is you want to do in your life, you can do it. As soon as you have that thought and you key into that thought of the change that you want to do, and you actually act upon that thought, the moment you make an action to the thought of the change you want to take place in your life is when change has happened. So if you are someone who wants to start a business, or someone who wants to get back in school, the moment that you have the thought in your mind, and when you put the action to it as to saying, I'm going to go and I'm going to apply for college, that's when you change from someone who's not trying to go to school to someone who is trying to pursue, further in their education. So change does happen instantly. It is the consistency of change that happens over time. And I was thinking, I feel that sometimes people, they think or they believe that they shy away from change because of fear. People probably have a fear of failing, or possibly a fear of not being consistent, which ultimately leads to failure in their eyes. Or just they allow fear to settle in, which stands as a blockage for change. So if you have the thought to go back to school, or to start your business, or to lose weight, you had that thought just sitting there in your mind. And it's up to you to motivate yourself to make that thought become an action. Once that thought becomes an action, that's when your change takes place. But what happens when fear gets involved, the thought remains a thought and never becomes an action. And I just want to go off a little bit to the side, or whatever, however you want to say it. But just imagine all of the stuff that we have, all of these different inventions that we have in this world. The traffic light, the cars, the television, internet, all of these different inventions were once a thought that changed into an action that created a change in our world ultimately. And could you imagine how much different our lives would be had someone not took the courageous step to make a change? See, a lot of times when we are making changes, we're making changes because we see that there is a problem. So another reason why someone may not try to change is because they have not acknowledged that there was even a problem to change. So we have fear as a reason to not change, and then not acknowledging or accepting the fact that there is a problem that needs to be changed, which is the reason why we need to daily self-evaluate ourselves. We need to see what's going on. We need to see if there are a lot of arguments or a lot of disagreements happening in our lives. Let's take a step back and say, well, is it something that I'm doing? Am I misunderstanding, or am I not being as open-minded as I need to be? What's causing this? Or if something's not going right in our lives, let's do a self-evaluation. No, nobody is perfect, but we all make mistakes at one point in time, but we need to take a step back and see, is it something that I'm doing that I need to change? So we need to acknowledge the problem. So we need to not allow fear to stop us, not allowing the fear to stop us because we feel that we may fail, or that we feel that the change may take too long. So we're not going to be dedicated to the process. But you have to realize, and I'm going to keep reiterating this, that change happens instantly. The definition that we read said the act or instance of making or becoming different. That is the noun form of the word change. The definition of the word change in the noun form, the act or instance of making or becoming different. That's what change is. So in the year 2021, I want you to think, and I want you to evaluate your lives, and just take a step back and just look at some things that need to be changed in your lives, or something that you already know needs to be changed, but you just been holding off on it. Just think about that one thing that you want to change. And now that you thought about it, let's create a plan to act upon it. So I always use school as my go-to metaphors, because that's been my life these last couple of years, to be honest with you. But honestly, I say we are fresh out of high school, or no matter what stage or age you are in life. Let's just say you want to go to school, I want to get a business degree, a bachelor's degree in business, right? So in order to even get started in that, you have to do research on different colleges, research the finances and all of that stuff. And, find a good program that is good for you and that will benefit you in the long run. But the thing is, once you decide to go online and start doing research, that's when you have changed from this person that just had a thought to go back to school to someone that's actually implementing a plan to go back to school. So we have to make plans for our changes that we want to happen. Yes, it changes instantly, but what will help you with the consistency of that change is the plans that you make for it. Make sure you always have a plan for your change. And then if you want to talk with somebody about it, have an accountability partner, someone there to help you stay on top of that change that you made. Okay? You can do it. You know you can do it. You have the strength. You have the ability and the capability to master any change you want to master in your life this year. You just have to push yourself from the thought to the action. And that's how fast change can take place in your life. Change can happen within an instance. Within seconds, you can change. Just like that. Just also have a plan. Once you make your change, have a plan to stay consistent with your change. Okay, guys? So if someone ever tell you that change cannot happen overnight, that's not true. Change can happen can happen overnight within a second. Change can happen just like that. But it's up to you to remain consistent with that change. The consistency of change is what happens over time. The change happens instantly. So guys, with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Continue to make your goals and your plans for the year 2021. We know things are different. We ended 2020 in a way we never thought we would end it, and we started 2021 in a way we never thought we would start it. But honestly, guys, this is the time that we need to make things right. Get things going. Like if you have dreams, just do it. Anything you want to do, just do it. Make that thought, change your thought into an action, and watch that thing happen. It's all a thought that you can change into an action that will soon become your reality. Okay, guys, that's our podcast for today. The power, there's so much power behind your change, guys. Just realize it. Just realize how much power you have within you to make a change. And it can affect so many people in such a positive way. Such a positive way. So guys, I wanted to start this thing with a scripture for the week. So our scripture for the week is coming from 2 Thessalonians 3:5. It says, "May the Lord lead your hearts into a full understanding and expression of the love of God and the patient endurance that comes from Christ." Peace be with you. Blessings for the year of 2021. Guys, and I also have an affirmation that I am saying for the rest of the year, and I will live by this thing. If you want to say it with me, come on and say it with me. We can do it together. In the year 2021, I will succeed at anything I put my mind to. Let's go, guys.